everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I've got a video on my 5 tips for writing your supporting information for assistant psychologist applications. So I have done a video already on how to write a supporting information, but I thought I would make a video on just my 5 tips because the other one goes into like structuring it and loads of different tips, and I just thought I get this question a lot, so I'm just going to narrow it down to 5 tips and put it into a video. So let's get into it. My first tip would be to keep it concise. Now, I would recommend writing up to 800 words, and really you don't want to go more than that. You have to remember the people reading these applications are going to be reading so many, and you don't want to put them off by having just such a long application. They also want to know that you have this skill of writing concisely, because it is tricky to do that. So I would say maximum 800 words. My second tip would be to read through the person specification and select the most important points. There's no need to include all of them. That would be ridiculous and also make your application really long and definitely be over 800 words. So say for example there's a point of works well in a team, but then there's also a point of MDT working. So when you work within an MDT, surely you're going to be a good team member and you'll be able to showcase your skill there. So there's no need to mention both of those points. When you're writing, if you are getting to a point where you are over 800 words, then maybe think about the person specification points that you don't really need to include. So obviously having a BPS accredited psychology course or having eligibility to the BPS graduate membership, obviously that's really important, but you don't need to mention that in your supporting information because they've already got that from your CV part. You also don't want it to look like a tick box exercise, and by including literally everything on the person specification, you're not going to have a flow within your supporting information. It's going to be really choppy and no one's going to want to read that. My third tip is to show how passionate you are about that service. Now, there's no point in applying to somewhere that you're not passionate about. They're going to see through that. You're not going to be applying for the perfect job every time, but there must be a reason why you're passionate about that service in particular. Maybe it's that you've got a passion for learning, or you want to explore this other client group. So there is a passion there. It might not be what you've been dreaming of for your whole life, but there is a passion. So include that. In my last video, I explained how you might be able to do that, but you just need to show how you're excited to be applying for a job like this. My fourth tip is to not mention all of your jobs in the supporting information. I know this is really hard not to because you want to showcase the experience you have, but if some of the jobs aren't giving you the relevant experience, then why would you mention it? Again, that's going to add to your word count. It's not going to show that you can write concisely. So just think about the jobs that have given you the specific skills. In my supporting information that got me the interviews, I only actually mentioned 3 of my roles out of probably 10 jobs that I've had in my whole life. So just mention the ones that are really vital. What I did was I focused in on one job which had most of the skills and spoke through that, and then anything that job didn't give me in terms of experience, then I would bring in other jobs. So I only had a total of 3 jobs that I mentioned in my supporting information. Now, you have to remember that your experience is all going to be mentioned in the CV section of your application, which you would have filled out prior to the supporting information. So make sure that your duties and responsibility in that bit include what needs to be included to show that you're a good candidate as well. And my final tip, but it's probably the most important, is to not copy and paste. By all means, use your applications as a base for the next one, but don't copy and paste it. Now, even when the person specifications are basically the same, the difference will be in the type of service that they are. And so even if the person specification is exactly the same between jobs, there will be a massive difference in the services that you're applying for. No service is the same and no trust is the same. They're going to have completely different ethos. So when writing about your experiences and why that makes you a good person for the job, you need to be able to relate it back to the service. So I'm a good communicator and I grew this skill in this place, which will be good for your team because. So let's run through those 5 tips. My first one was to be concise and use up to 800 words. My second tip was to read the person's specification and choose the most important ones and speak about those. My third tip was to mention why you are passionate about that service. My fourth tip was that there's no need to mention every single job that you've done in your supporting information. Just keep it to the jobs that are relevant for this role. And finally, my fifth tip is to not copy and paste. So yeah, a really nice short video, guys. I hope you found it helpful. If you haven't already, watch the one about how to write a supporting information. It's got very similar tips, but at the end I speak through how I structure it, and I even give you a glimpse into how I started my supporting information for the job that I'm in now. So yeah, please like this video if you liked it, guys, and subscribe for more content like this. It honestly means the world. And I always leave my email in the description bar below if you need any help with your applications or just want to chat. I love it. And I've created a Twitter account, so please go and follow me there. I'm going to use it as a place for discussion and also to ask you guys what content you want to see, because I want to make videos that you find helpful as well as videos that I enjoy filming. So until next time, guys, I'll see you later.